You will, I am sure, excuse my presumption, Dr. Watson. Here on the moor, we are homely folk and do not wait on formal introductions. You may have heard my name from our mutual friend, Mortimer. I am Stapleton of Merripit House.
Your network told me just as much, for I know that Mr. Stapleton was a naturalist. But how did you know my name?
I've been calling on Mortimer, and he pointed you out to me from the window of his surgery as you passed. As our road lay the same way, I thought that I would overtake you and introduce myself. I trust that Sir Henry is none the worse for his journey.
He is very well, thank you.
We were all afraid that after the sad death of Sir Charles, the new baronet would refuse to live there. It is asking much of a wealthy man to come down and bury himself in a place of this kind, but I need not tell you that it means a very great deal to the countryside. Sir Henry has, I suppose, no superstitious fears in the matter?
I do not think that it is likely.
Of course, you know the legend of the fiend Hound that haunts the family.
I have heard it.
It is extraordinary how credulous the peasants are about here. Any number of them are ready to swear that they have seen such a creature upon the moor. The story took a great hold of Sir Charles' imagination, and I have no doubt that it led to his tragic death. His nerves were so worked up that the appearance of any dog might have had a fatal effect on his diseased heart. I fancy that he really did see something that last night upon the yew moor, and I feared that a disaster may have occurred, for I was fond of the old man, and I knew that his heart was weak.
How did you know that?
My friend Mortimer told me.
You think, then, that some dog pursued Sir Charles and that he died of fright in consequence?
Have you any better explanation?
I have not come to any conclusion.
As Mr. Sherlock Holmes? The records of your detective have become known, and you cannot celebrate them without becoming known yourself. When Mortimer mentioned your name, you could not deny your identity. So if you are here, that must mean that Mr. Sherlock Holmes has taken interest in the matter, and naturally, I am curious to know what his view is.
I'm afraid I can't answer that question.
May I ask if he plans to honor us with a visit himself?
He cannot leave town presently. He is engaged in other cases.
What a pity. You might throw some light onto that which is so dark to us. But as Joe researches, if there is any possible way in which I can be of service to you, I trust that you will command me. For any indication of the nature to which you plan to investigate this case, I may not even now be of some service or aid.
I assure you, Mr. Stapleton, that I'm on a visit with my dear friend Sir Henry, and I need no help whatsoever.
Excellent! You're perfectly right to be wary and discreet. In fact, I am justly reproved for what I feel was a completely unjustifiable intrusion, and henceforth I shall make no mention of the matter again.
You know the moor well, then?
I've been here for only 2 years. We've settled right after Sir Charles came. The residents here would call me a newcomer, but my taste led me to explore every bit of the countryside here, and I should think that very few men know it as well as I do.
Is it hard to know?
Very hard. You see, for example, the Great Plains just to the north of here, with the queer hills jutting out of it. Do you find anything remarkable about that?
It'd be a rare place for a gout.
You'd think that, and the very same thought has led to the deaths of many before now. Do you notice the green spots scattered throughout?
Yes, those spots look more fertile than the others.
That is the great Grimpenmire. A false step yonder means death to man or beast. Only yesterday I saw one of the moor ponies wander into it. He never came out. I saw his head for quite a long time craning out of the bog hole, and it sucked him down at last. Even in dry seasons it is a danger to cross it. But after these autumn rains, it is an awful place. And yet I can find my way to the very heart of it and return alive. It's a bad place, that great Grimpenmire.
And you say you can penetrate it?
There are 1 or 2 paths a very active man can take, and I
I found them. But why? Well, did you see the hills beyond? They're actually small islands that are
What was that?
I've heard it once or twice before. The peasants say it's the Hound of Baskervilles, crawling for its prey.
You're an educated man. Surely you don't believe such nonsense.
Well, the bogs make queer noises sometimes. It was the mud settling or the water rising or something.
No. That was a living voice.
Well, perhaps it was. Did you ever hear a bittern booming?
It's the weirdest, strangest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Aha! Excuse me, for surely a cyclopedes, the rarest of insects.
Through the bushes, Matt. Ah.